Okay guys, so welcome back to another vlog, and it's a very exciting day today because York is where I am and it's somewhere I've wanted to go for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys around today so we can see what York has to offer. And conveniently enough, we are starting the day at one of the main gates here in York. So it's one of the entrances to the city of York. It's York's most important medieval gateway, and for centuries this was actually the main gate entrance into York. It is also part of York's medieval city walls, and the gate is called Micklegate, which comes from the Old Norse for Mikkellith, which means great street. Of course, many people would assume that it means great gate, but it doesn't, it actually means great street. Now then, speaking of the city walls, I'm now currently walking along them. So from the gate, you can actually go up some steps on either side, and it will take you directly onto the wall, so you can walk along the side of it. These are actually the longest medieval city walls in England, and they stretch for around 3.4 kilometres, which is about 2.1 miles. And most of the walls are still standing today, so again, it's very rare that you get something like that. You can actually walk almost the entire circuit of the wall, and the walls have four main medieval gateways. You have the one that we just came from, which was Micklegate Bar. There's one called Walmgate Bar, Monk Bar and Bootham Bar. So again, we're most likely going to see them on our journey today. But they've survived a lot. They've survived wars, sieges, civil war, everything. They've really been through a lot. So to be walking on them today is really a privilege, I would say. So as you walk around the wall, the first place you come to of significance is the Barker Tower, which is home to the Perky Peacock Cafe Bar. It's really interesting actually, because the tower is actually 700 years old. It was a medieval tower built in the 14th century on the River Ouse. It used to be York's river toll booth. So if boats wanted to enter the city, they had to pay a toll to enter. And in the Victorian days, it actually was a mortuary as well. So it's been quite a few things, and then it later became an art gallery, until eventually today it is a cafe. You can actually sit in the basement, which is what is meant to be one of York's most unusual settings for a cafe. So yeah, we might go and check that out and show you guys what that's all about. So I went into the dungeon in that cafe, and it was a really cool experience, very unique. Never really sat in anything like that before for a drink. So that was a cool experience. I recommend going down there in the little dungeon because you also have a view looking out onto the river through the windows. But since then I've just taken a walk through the town. It's still very early and very quiet, so not much is open yet, but it's really nice to walk around the streets. You've got great views of all the buildings without the crowds of people. And I've eventually just gotten down to the York Viking Centre, which is probably one of the main tourist attractions here to go and visit, where you can learn about the Viking history in the city. And the attraction actually stands on the exact site where archaeologists uncovered the remains of the Viking city of York during the famous Coppergate excavations. You do have to pre-book to go in there, so I will not be going in there today because I didn't book a ticket. But almost everything in there is based on real evidence. So it's definitely one to check out if you're interested in Viking history. I think if I had more time, I would definitely go in myself and have a look. I think an adult ticket is £17.50. and a child ticket is £12. It's very popular with tourists, so it must be good. And apparently they actually replicate the smells of like the Viking streets, and something about Viking poo as well, 1,000-year-old Viking poo. I'm not sure what that's all about, but yeah, you can find that all in there. But while I'm actually on the streets, I thought I'd just tell you a little bit as well about the actual city centre of York, because just wandering the streets alone is an attraction in itself. So as you're walking through, it's around 2,000 years of history you can find throughout York. And it's known to be one of the best preserved medieval city centres in Europe. And many of the streets still follow the medieval names, like Stonegate, Coppergate, Petergate. Everything seems to end in gate. But as I said earlier, the word gate, even though it's called gate, it actually is the Old Norse word for street, gata. But one thing I will say is that while you're in York, have a look for little alleyways that are called snickleways. York is actually really famous for these alleyways because they go between buildings, and often they lead to little hidden courtyards and ancient passages. So again, there's so many things you can find here in York that if you're not looking close enough, you might miss it. I've now made it to the Shambles, which I think is probably the most known area of York. It's known for its beautiful streets, it's known for the market as well. And a fun fact for you as well is that it was once York's Butcher Street. And the name Shambles comes from the Old English word fleshamels, which means shelves or benches where butchers displayed their meat. At one point in time, there was actually around 25 butcher shops here, which is crazy if you think of how it's transformed now to all the little gift shops and magical shops and cafes. And the buildings, when you look at them and you go down the street, they're kind of curving over and almost touching each other, which is, again, is very unique, and it has that kind of, again, that magic Harry Potter-esque feel to it. And then you have the market, which is one of York's busiest market areas. Of course, right now it's fairly quiet because it's still 9 in the morning. However, they are selling lots of handcrafted goods, from things like rum, alcohol, there's like bags and clothing. You can also get some fudge, which I actually managed to get some. And the good thing about it is that everything here is independent. It's tucked away behind the Shambles, so you can cut through little side alleyways to get there. And just another little fun fact for you is that York has actually been a market city for over 1,000 years. But you must come and check it out. There's around 75 different stalls that you can have a look around, selling all different things, and it's worth going to. Everyone is so friendly here as well. So now that brings me to what is the last remaining part of York Castle. It's the Clifford Tower. The original tower was made of wood and it was built in 1068, but after being destroyed by fire, it was replaced by the distinctive stone tower that you see today in the 13th century under King Henry III. Now, to enter this tower, it does cost around £10. In my opinion, it's entirely worth it for the views from the top. The inside isn't too bad. There isn't a heck of a lot to see. There is a little chapel and some rooms, and there is obviously information boards that you can read up on. But the most interesting part is when you go up the spiral staircases, you make it to the top and you've got, again, similar to my Newcastle vlog, if you guys have seen that, an incredible view from the top looking across the city. You can see everything from the Minster, the city centre, you can see a couple of churches poking out. One thing I will say is that at the top, the terrace is huge. So you have got a big open space if you want to just sit down and relax, take in the views. And on a kind of sunny day like today, there's been breaks in the clouds, but it's been sunny for the most part. It's perfect weather as well. Slightly expensive for what you get. Like I say, it's entirely worth it if you want to come up and see the views. And if you're a photographer like me, then of course taking your camera up here is the best thing you can do. So guys, I may have just found the best place to go and sit down and have a coffee or a tea. It's incredible. So earlier I was mentioning that there's different gates around the city walls, and I'm currently just at the one called Walmgate. And inside this one you can go into Gatehouse Coffee, which is the only York bar with a Barbican still attached. And the cafe has been here since 2007. The cool thing about it is that when you go in, you've got the first floor, and then you can go up to the second floor, which is more of like a relaxed sofa area. And then you have a rooftop, which is currently where I'm standing right now. And the reason I decided to come up here again is because you have incredible views. Look, just over there. And you can actually see there's a little seating area just go around the outside here. This is the Barbican area here. So you can actually sit out there if you want to as well. And you've got views of the city. You've got this whole terrace here with almost 360-degree view, and as well as part of the wall just there as well. So yeah, worth coming up here. I got myself an apple and mint tea. It's a loose leaf tea, so it's very healthy. And then after this, we're going to head back into the city and explore some more of York. Now, this is probably the most major stop while you're in York. It's the York Minster. and I've just been inside and I've actually been to the top as well. Now the ticket price is a little bit more expensive. For the standard ticket it's around £18 to go in for an adult, and it's an extra £6 if you want to go up the tower, which is around 275 steps. However, I do feel like the view at the top is worth the price. I think the ticket overall is probably a little bit expensive, and I think it has been going up over the years. But the Minster itself is incredible, like it's huge inside, really big cathedral. And it's one of the largest Gothic cathedrals in Northern Europe. It's around 518 foot, which is 158 metres long. It took over 250 years to build. It's been through a lot. It's actually survived, in 1984 it survived a devastating lightning strike. Thanks to firefighters and incredible restoration effort, the Minster was actually saved. The climb to the top is really good actually. You get a designated time slot to go up the tower, and when you make it to the top you're presented with panoramic views looking across the city. Great again if you want some photos of York City. The ticket does last a whole year, so that's why it is a little bit more money, because you can go back multiple times within a year. The stained glass windows throughout the building itself are again spectacular. You've got the Great East Window, which is one of the most magnificent windows there. And you can also go underground. There's a little museum down there as well, so if you want to learn some more information about York Minster and York in general, then there is that as well. And of course there is a gift shop, which I finally decided to get myself a thing called a pilgrim passport. I only just learnt about this from the staff from Newcastle Cathedral when I was in Newcastle. So I decided to pick myself one up, and basically you can just get stamps of all the major cathedrals in England. So every cathedral you go to, you get a stamp in your little pilgrim passport. All right, so for the last stop of the day, then I went to the Museum Gardens. It's a free 10-acre oasis, and it's right in the heart of York, so it is free to enter. However, I mean, today there was an event going on over the weekends, so a lot of the park right now isn't accessible. But on a normal day, you'll be able to walk around it freely. You can go to St Mary's Abbey as well, which is phenomenal. I can kind of see it from the distance, so I've got some shots to show you guys on the screen. And it is only a few minutes away from York Minster. Some of the trees in the park as well are over 170 years old. You can find lots of beautiful trees, flowers, and walkways to walk around while you're there as well. It's also the perfect picnic spot, so if you want somewhere to sit down, there are a couple of cafes around. You've also got the museum there, which you can pay to enter. It's £10 for an adult, and it has a variety of history from all different times. But I do hope that you've enjoyed following me along on this journey around York. I've had the most amazing time here. It's one of my favourite cities now that I've been here. I can verify that it's incredible, as good as it's been made out to be, and I will definitely be back again. But as always, thank you so much for watching along, and I hope you learned something new in today's video. And stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.